Not on this computer.
That's it.
Dat hy net record. En dan gaan ek sê share screen. So I'm gonna mute everybody. Zonia, ek sien jy het bygekom.
We're on the other one.
Tony, you're on the right one now. So yeah, welcome. Zonia, so I've just muted Zonia as well. Okay, fine. So let me say share screen. And now I'm gonna present the presentation. Can you guys all see the presentation? It's coming up now.
Yes.
Okay, so ek gaan net vir Dani, daar mute Dani. Okay, sharp. Okay, there's our agenda for the evening. We're going to try to do it in half an hour. These sessions, I think, seems to work well, but I think we all agree we must keep it short and sweet because we're all at home now, and there's kids, and there's dinner, and there's whatever else to do. So that's our agenda. We've only got 6 or 7 slides. Christo will talk about our name change and the 2 next points, the price list and the Kienigh Rental Company, just more information about that. And then I'll talk about the forecast for 2019. I'll look at the Google Sheet, talk about that a little bit. I'll give you an update on opportunities that's coming in through our website and what's happening with them. And then we'll go back to sales tips and tricks. And I think we'll keep that on these slides in future as well, because lots of the franchisees talk to me and Christo during every week and every month. And whatever we remember, we spoke about some franchisee, we'll share here, because many of the franchisees ask questions or do something stupid or do something great or come up with a new idea or whatever, and then we'll share it here. And I think that's valuable. At the end, we can have questions. There's a little chat box at the top you can click, you know, and find there in the top section the chat box. And if you want to add a chat, you can do that. All right. You can just ask a question. There's Aslam there. Yeah, Gary is there. Okay, cool. All right, so Christo, jy kan maar begin. Kom ek gaan terug daarna name change.
So I haven't said hello yet. Okay, the first one is just a comment. It's easy. Midnight Oil Coffee Company Pty Limited changed its name now officially to Kienigh Coffee Pty Limited. The registration number, VAT number, address, the bank details, the bank number, the telephone numbers, everything stayed the same. We're just not trading as Kienigh Coffee anymore. We are now Kienigh Coffee Pty Limited. So we even called the bank, and even there they said no problem whether people transfer the money as Kienigh Coffee or Midnight Oil for at least another 6 months. They will allow both of those. I think Grizel filled in all the forms, but we haven't made it even public to customers and suppliers yet. We will send out a flyer to the outside guys from the 1st of March. March price list. Marnus, just go there, please. Okay. Quick on the price list. Benita actually started asking me a few questions, and this is the mail that I sent to her this morning. So I thought, yeah, if Benita asked me the questions, I better share it with you guys as well. This is a lot of detail. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but this is a recording, so it will be on the website, and this will be on the website, and you can all ask the questions. The main things are our main products, coffee, milk, and chocolate. I tried to negotiate better deals, and there are some prices that are lower than last year. Although, and on the price list that we send you, there are lower prices for the retail prices. But don't necessarily decrease the prices to your supplier, to your clients. Keep it the same or give them a 3 or 5% increase. People expect increases. Ooh, what is that?
That's my big feedback.
Is it my feedback?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ek sal myself mute. Praat jy verder.
Okay, ek weet nie wat dit was.
Dis hy vol op jou skouer, Christo.
Ja, ek dink dit is hy nie, hy is doodstil gelukkig. Okay, ek weet nie wat dit was nie, dis weg. Okay. We will not distribute price lists generally to everybody out there. So customers that are talking to us or where we need to negotiate or show them prices, we will. But apart from that, we're not distributing prices to your customers, or it's your prerogative. So everybody can have their prices the way that they want to. And there's loads of you guys that have different prices from our suggested retail. And remember, again, our suggested retail is just, that's basically the franchise list to calculate your 30% discount on. That's why I have to distribute it so you can see. That's that point number 4. To make it easy for us to have you as a category where there's a 30% discount column on. So if you want higher prices or don't give this or increases or give 5% increases, it's honestly, it's up to you. As a rule, we don't reduce prices to customers. We keep them the same if we want to, but even that, don't do that. Give them a 3% increase. Everybody expects it. All items bought from our distribution channels can change, and it does. Every time somebody buys new things, and the sugars, I mean, the taxes just went up Wednesday. When was it? Wednesday last week, I think. There's nothing we can do about that. So everything that contains sugar, which includes our hot chocolate, we didn't give a price increase on hot chocolate, but the sugar tax will have an effect on it. So there might be an adjustment. If I can absorb it, I will. But I've got no control over those kind of things. So if there are changes on prices, please go to this list, go and check it. The list on the system or on the website will always be up to date. Benita is in charge of that, and she is like a rash over me to make sure that that thing is always up to date. And if there are smaller stuff that you buy that we don't necessarily stock, like a filter coffee machine, we don't stock those kind of things. We don't trade it often, etc. Make sure that you call the offices and find out what the price is. I don't know the prices. I can remember the last one we bought was 5,200 Rand, but I can't guarantee you that it's still the same. So please, even if I tell you it's ballpark 5,200 Rand, don't believe me. Call Liv, somebody, make sure.
Yeah, there's Dero Thomas is not right.
Okay. On machine imports like Ruma Seiko and Godray, we can manage and control it, and there we will try to do it. But on other machines, we have very little control. WMF, Shearer, some of you still buy the BCE, the Bravilo, Quintos, those kind of things. Those prices change without notice. They don't send us notice. So if you buy machines and the prices change, don't scream and shout at us, please. Okay. I think that's enough.
Okay.
Welcome to ask questions and comment. Most important thing, Koenig Rental. It took us, I think, 3 years to create this Koenig Rental company. We found private investors. We created a company. I think the name will be Koenig Rental Company, Pty Limited. It should start from around about the 10th of March. The day might move out by a day or 2, 3. And Koenig Rentals will replace Sunderland and Mercantile. So it's a company that Midnight Oil Coffee Company, or now from the 1st of March, it is Koenig Coffee Pty Limited. They will have 30% shareholding in. And we will process everything through Koenig Coffee. But remember, the vetting, the approval, the signing of the contract, the installation, everything, the rule stays the same. It's still 70% owned by a bank. The reason we did this is now we can combine the rental and the product and maintenance on one invoice and one statement to our customers. There are some customers that says they don't want an invoice from a Sunderland Rentals for rental on the one side and from Koenig Coffee for maintenance and products and whatever on the other side. Who do they pay? And sometimes they pay the wrong one and all those kind of things. So we've had this in the past. And the main drive for this was to get everything channeled through one company. And now finally we did that. We raised enough money so that we can rent the machines directly to the end customers. And please, it will be the end customer. It's still a bank backing us. Although we made it easier, Manus and I can make the decisions. All of these processes still go through a bank. It is unfortunate that it has to be like that, and that debit orders only will suffice. No EFTs and things like that. And then please remember, we can use consulting company now as that level 1 BE contributor on the one side, or our BE partner on the one side, where we can do all of the same transactions either through Koenig Coffee or through the consulting co with the BE level 1 status. And the last one, yeah, we are in control and we can make the rental decisions and put the deals together. I'm busy with a deal now for Aspen in PE. I was there for the last day or two with Ian and partly with Rindy. Joining us there, and she can tell you, doing a deal with these kind of guys, hey. I have no idea what that deal will look like. But at least with this kind of thing now that we can rent our own machines, we can put the deals together. We can now do something that just 5 days ago would virtually be impossible. And it opened doors for customers like the Aspens out there. And just to let you know, November and December, I actually basically told them to piss off because I didn't want to do business with them because they demanded certain things that we did not agree with. They kept on coming back. They kept on begging us to come back and please give them a solution. So now we can do the solution, but now we can do it on our terms. And because of the rental company, we can combine rentals, maintenance, products, everything into one big basket and give them one big deal, which, as I said, 5 days ago was not possible. Cool. I think that's me.
Christo, I just want to quickly give a rental tip here that I discussed with Christo actually yesterday while we're on this topic. Our point of sale system is in our shop in Durban is rented from Odyssey point of sale system, Bloemfontein boys, and they rent the point of sale system the same as copier companies and us with coffee machines and so on, rented to clients. It is a rental, just like ours is a rental, and we often get the question from franchisees who get the same question from their clients: what happens after the 36 months? You know, can I own the machine then, or what happens? Their answer is actually a good answer, and we must use that, we must copy that. Their answer is, no, you never own the machine. We own the machine. After 36 months, all that changes, it's a month-to-month agreement automatically after that. So you keep on renting the same machine on a month-to-month basis after that. If you don't want that machine anymore, then we start a new rental contract with a new machine for the next 36 months. You know, by then there will be a new model on the market and maybe you would like the new model. So then you get the new model, we remove the old one, we bring the new one, and you carry on for another 36 months on the new one, possibly at a different rental amount because the new one might be more expensive or less expensive or whatever the case. So that's a very good answer actually, you know, is to say after 36 months, it's a month-to-month rental. If you want a new machine, you get a new machine, and then you fix it again for 36 months. And that's the answer. Okay. All right, let me talk about forecasting. For the first time ever, we asked all our franchisees to forecast, you know, on a spreadsheet and give us a number that they think they can sell, you know, for the next 12 months, for the next financial year. We've discussed it many times with franchisees in the past, and some of them have got their own forecast systems and so on, and some of them just go on a month-to-month basis. The greater majority, to whom I spoke, and that what I've seen on the sheet, and I'll quickly show the sheet just now, you know, did it very conservatively. I see numbers like 4, a total of 4 for the whole year, a total of 7 for the whole year, a total of 11 for the whole year. That's extremely conservative, and it's probably based on your experience from the previous year, where you say, well, you know, I didn't sell, I sold maybe 1 or 2 machines last year, so maybe I'll make it 3 or 4 this year. It's really, really dismal, and you're not doing forecasting. You're doing something else. You're doing, I don't know, some conservative calculation in your head. Forecasting is a wish list, a realistic wish list, to say to yourself, what do I want to grow my business by in the coming year? And the best plan to do it is in that process, those last 5 bullets on the slide there. How many clients do you want to gain this year? 10, 20, 30? How many? You got to pick a number. You know, pick a realistic number and say, look, I want to grow my business by 20 customers. Something like 20 customers, in my humble opinion, is probably a very realistic target. The above means that that number of machines need to be placed, because the majority of our clients is 1 client, 1 machine. You don't often get 3 machines in 1 building, okay? But you do if you're lucky. Our national hit rate is about 25%, you know, from a sales lead to converted sale, to a 1 deal. In other words, if you want 10 clients for the year, I've just picked the number there, then you need to see 40 clients during this year, which means 3.3 clients per month. So that's how you break it down, and that's how you get to your number. But you start with a wish list. You start aiming for the stars and hitting the moon. All right, that's how you must do it. So those of you who filled in a 4 and a 7 and a 12 and a 9 and a whatever, please go back to that sheet. I'll quickly show the sheet now. Quickly go back to the sheet and just, you know, just go and try and set a target that's realistic. The reason why I want to show the sheet, and it should come up now, just give it a second. Christo, can you see that sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
Just maximize the screen.
Say again.
Just go full screen.
It should be full screen because it's still here.
F11.
Let's try that. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. The only reason I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because there's a lot of numbers here and so on. So the green part is our own target for the year. We want to sell 601 machines, excluding fridges, basically 600 machines. That's our target based on the commitments we've made to ourselves and to, you know, Saheko who gave us a target for the coming year and so forth. All right. The total.
Let me just. Can I jump in there?
Sure.
Guys, the targets from Godrej, Saheko, and from Ruma are quite stiff. And the reason we can give you 25 and 30% discount is because we keep on buying enough machines. But we need to sell those machines. Otherwise, we get lesser discounts. If we get lesser discounts, you get lesser discounts. And we worked extremely hard to get to the situation where we can get away from Euro, W8, WMF, and those kind of guys where you get 10% and we get 10%. None of us make money on that. We're not here because we for love and charity. We're here to make money. And those numbers that I've got there for Saheko and for Godrej, that's the minimum numbers that they give us. Otherwise, we lose control over our deals and our discounts. So that's 601 machines at the bottom, excluding the fridges. That's how many machines we need to sell of, including those machines, to keep the discounts. If we keep them, then next year I can negotiate for 1% more or 1.5% more or something like that. If we don't make the discounts, nothing happens. We will probably lose 5% or 10%. But that's unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Okay. So if I look at the 260 total from the franchises, then we're not close. We're not even close. And if you scan your eyes here at the bottom on the yellow bar, okay, some of the franchisees, Zonia, Herman, and so on, they haven't gotten to it yet. And Johan, I spoke to earlier today, I know he will do it later on and so on. So there's a couple that hasn't filled it in. But if you look at the rest, 12, 8, 9, 13, 14, we need to get away from single numbers and 12s and 1s and 13s and so on. It's just, you know, you need to think bigger than that. You need to say to yourself, you know, I think I can do 20 or 30 machines or 40 machines this year. Why not? What is preventing you from doing that? And challenge yourself and put a number in and say, this is what I'm going to do. If you have that target, write it also on the wall in your office, you know, and break it down into monthly buckets and weekly buckets. And then that's a target that you can work with. Otherwise, you're just going to run around and fix coffee machines and do call-outs for block frothers and never sell a machine. All right, so I'm going to go out of this screen and back to the presentation. Just give it a second for it to refresh.
Sorry, Man, it's John here.
Yeah.
I just noticed when I looked at your columns and your tallies, it didn't tally to the amounts in your yellow row.
Okay.
There were some columns at 2, -2, some at, I think Leon had +2, where at the end, your sum.
Okay. I'll go and check it, John. Let's not get into the detail now. I'll go and check it. But the point is, there's a big disjoint between our target and franchise targets. But I'll go and check the mathematics. Just remember, I've excluded fridges in there, but let's not hold up the presentation for that. Don't worry, I'll go and double check it. All right.
Okay, positive. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So opportunity summary from last month's presentation, which was, I think, on the 24th of January. In other words, the third week or second last week of January. This was the picture then, all right? And if you look at January at that point in time, we had a total lead or opportunity amount generated of about $1 million. That is, remember, I gave the whole presentation last week of how that comes about. We get contacts or leads on our website. We phone them. We find out who they are, what they are, how many people are they, where in the country are they. And then we allocate a franchisee to that, and we create an opportunity with what we think based on that telephone conversation, is the correct equipment for that client. So if the client says there are 15 people in the office, I put an 810S on there, and I know an 810 with a fridge is about 16,000 bucks. So that's how we get to it. It's not just a thumbs up number. There's some realistic calculation to that, you know. And the franchisee can change that. So if you talk to a client and it ends up only being a filter coffee machine, so be it. Then you change the value and you finalize the deal as such. And then that number will be corrected on my presentation the following month. So if you just look at January there, I've broken it down to December and October and so on. We started there. And then at the top, October and so on, altogether was 4.3 million and so on. I now redid this and summarized it because that's just too much detail. We're all going to go crazy looking at all those numbers. So, and I've added September because some of those deals I realized now when we started the process was actually at the end of September. So I started a little bit at the end of September, and then I summarized the whole story. And for the whole of January, we almost made 2 million opportunities that we've created. So we did pretty well in the last week of January. Now in February, and there's still a couple I must assign today. Tonight I'm going to sit. There's a 5 or 6 that came in today and yesterday that Matt and I worked on. So there will probably be another 100,000 or whatever. So we're almost again 1.6, 1.7 million for February, which is not bad. All right. So if you look towards the right, you can see what we've already won. Obviously, stuff in February will be very low because it's opportunities that most of you have received only in the last weeks or last 2 weeks. And you have a contact with the guy and you're only going to see him maybe next week or whatever the case may be. So that's to be expected. We've only converted about 3% of everything in February. If you go back to January, it's actually not bad. 22% is almost that 25%. Remember, I spoke about 25%. So that's not half bad. And then since the previous time, and I'm going to go back now so you can see the difference. So look at November's number there. Now we've finalized 31%. Yeah, in November, it was 26%. So in other words, a couple more has been concluded now, all right? And that's simply because sometimes the sales cycle takes 2 months or 3 months or 4 months to complete. So I expect even a few more percentages to be increased on November because we're still sitting with 27 open opportunities, R500,000 still open, you know, today, you know, that was created in November last year. So just be careful to those franchisees who are sitting with 3 or 4 or 5 month old opportunities. Don't keep the thing open forever and ever. If you phone the guy and send him a proposal and you went to see him and you did a demo and there's nothing happening, pick up the phone, grow a thick skin and pick up the phone and say to him, are you still in business or are you wasting my time? You know, maybe that last part you need to find better words for, but you know, and conclude the deal, you know, or phone him and say, look, I don't want to bug you every week. Just tell me, when will you be ready for this deal? Because I really want to do business with you. Maybe that's a better approach. And then the guy will tell you, I'm just busy, or we've got financial year end, come and see me next month. I want to do it next month or whatever. And if you don't get an answer and the guy's wasting your time, then you suspend it. Because otherwise it just stays open forever. All right, so this is not looking half bad. We're going in the right direction here, in my opinion. January was a funny, December and January are both funny months. So the whole December is a bit of a funny one still. I don't think much will change there, but hopefully the January number will still go up. And in November, October, we're above our average. We're above 25%, which is actually fantastic. Okay. Christo, you want to add something?
The one thing that I want to add is our monthly target to sell equipment. I can't remember the numbers from that thing, Manus, but the value is roughly R1 million.
Yes.
900 or R1 million or somewhere around there. And yeah. I just see on the numbers here, in February, we actually created 62 opportunities. It was only beaten in November last year. And of that, there's 52 of them still open right now with a value of 1.3 million. And the January ones are still 27 that are still open with a value of R1 million. And then obviously it goes a lot smaller for December, November, October as those deals now are either won or lost or suspended. Yeah. And this, I think, is a pretty good illustration of how well a system like this actually help us to grow the number of opportunities. Because if you look at the opportunities from September, it started 24, 44, then 60, 37, 54, 62. So February is, and if you look at the December and November, they're very low to both sides. So maybe in November, there were just more calls made than in the other two. It just shows us that the system of social media advertising or marketing and that lead creation into opportunities, which is this, is actually increasing in numbers and in value. And I think for all of us, that's the stuff that we are looking for. That's the stuff. And with Marnus measuring this, we can actually see the numbers increasing, numbers of machines. And remember, every one machine should equal, well, depending on the type of machine, between 5 and 10 kilograms of coffee for somebody out there. So if you want to grow your company by 100 kilos of coffee, it's 10 kilos. 10 to 12 machines.
Yeah.
And that's also something that you need to take into consideration. Some of you said, I want to sell 300 kilos of coffee a month or 500 kilos of coffee a month. You need to equate it back to the number of machines. And this is a pretty cool system. And just remember that all of these opportunities, this is not leads. This is the stuff that Marnus talk about. These has been filtered twice.
Yeah.
By the time this gets to you, your chance of winning this should actually be 50% or more. These are the guys that already said yes to Matt and yes to Marnus. I want to talk to somebody. Please send them to me. These guys have basically said, I'm sitting with my wallet in my hand. Please call me. And there's in total just open, there's 3.8 million with 148 opportunities sitting out there that we are passing directly on to you guys, not to salespeople to go and create, to you guys to go and sit and just convert them. So I think the system is slowly starting to show us the direction. And by managing the system and following the system, it really works.
Yeah. And I'm just going to use one example. I spoke to Donnie an hour ago because he had another issue he wanted to ask me about. And I asked him, how's the leads looking in terms of quality? You know, in terms of quality that we've passed on to you in the last couple of months. I think he said he received about 9 opportunities in the last 2 or so months, or 2 or 3 months. And 2 of them, he said, was duds. You know, the one was a real funny one, and the other one wanted the machine for a charity project and so on. The other 7 he's working on. He's one or two of them already. He's placed the demo machine at the other one and so forth. And he says all other 7 he thinks he's going to get. So he's still a bit of work. So 7 out of 9 is a very good ratio in terms of quality. And I think that's probably true roughly for all of them. You know, hopefully the rest of you feel the same that's received a few already. Okay. So this system will grow. I just want to make 2 comments on the data behind that sheet that you see there. That little table is the detail broken down by each franchisee. So I can literally drill down. I'm not going to do it now, but I can drill down to the one and conversion percentage ratio for each franchisee. And I'm looking at that. I'm monitoring that, and I'm sending you guys. You would have received at least 2 emails this year already from me, where I put this table just for your own opportunities there with your own conversion rate and so forth. And we have to do that, not to hit anybody with a stick, but just to measure the progress. I also want to make a comment. Not all of this is just from the website. There's a couple of franchisees who's also loading their own leads and opportunities. And that's great. That's also included in these numbers. That's fantastic. The majority, about 70% of this is website, and about 25-30% is some franchisees who's also active now. And I like that. So you can now count on getting 1 or 2 leads a month, or maybe 3 or 4 a month from us. Hopefully, it depends how Facebook reacts to our adverts. And obviously how much money we spend on it. We spend only about a couple of $100 at the moment, but we're going to pump this up in March now. We're going to grow this. But so you can count on getting 1 or 2. Just add 1 or 2 of your own. That's all I'm saying. Just add 1 or 2 of your own. While you go driving into a business park, don't rush out the gate again. Look around. Just say, hey, shit, I'm in this business park. Here's a fantastic looking company. Let me just stop there. Do a bit of cold calling. It's not that difficult. Okay. All right. So this is our pipeline as it sits today in Cycling. And I'm horrified to say there's still a lot of open opportunities sitting in February, and then less of it in December and November. Forecast close date. So in other words, we're sitting with stuff that you forecasted in December and January, and you just haven't done anything about it. So I'm not going to share the culprits, because of the culprits are quite clearly in Cycling, and you know who you are. Please go and sort that out. It's the end of February now. In the next 24 hours or over the weekend at least, please go and update your opportunities. You know, if the thing must be moved out by a month. I spoke to a client today. The client said to me, please just come and see me 1st of April. 1st of April. He specifically said 1st of April. So I marked the forecast close date for the 1st of April. He wants a machine, but not now, 1st of April. You know, he wants to finalize budgeting till the end of March, and then it will happen 1st of April. So move your opportunities, either suspend them, of course, or move the forecast close date into the future. You've got to do that. Otherwise, this chart looks like this. So we've got, as the whole company, total countrywide for new equipment. I'm not talking about where you've marked it as a second-hand machine or you've marked it as product only or something like that, where you've said it's new equipment. This is what our pipeline looks like. And I'm going to share this every month going forward now for the rest of this year, and then compare it with the previous one so that we can see what's the picture looking like in the whole pipeline for the company. All right. You should have this, in my humble opinion, on a whiteboard next to your office, next to your computer. All right. You should have your list of your 10 or 15 or 12 or 3 or whatever open opportunities that you're working on currently. Make it visual. I'm a right brain guy, so I only work with visual stuff. But if you find a way of having this visually, a pipeline with a 10 or so that's open. Inside Insightly, you can create very nice views that you can filter just for your own opportunities that also shows you a nice visual picture of the open opportunities that you're working on. All right. Sales tips and tricks, and here Christo and I will now, take turns to talk. We'll chip in between each other, I'm sure. Do not attempt to oversell, rather solve problems for clients. And I think, Christo, maybe you must talk about Aspen a little bit more here, because these guys have a problem and you're trying to help them to solve a problem.
Yeah, it's one of those companies, it's one of the South African success stories, but they started that big and now they're that big and they're everywhere. They have no idea what's happening, and neither does anybody that works there. So they put out a tender. I don't think that we responded. Then they got hold of Rindy. Rindy got hold of me. We started putting things together. October, November, sometime last year, we submitted some data to them, and they wanted machines with coin operated for people in. I think yesterday we walked through. There's 23 different kitchens, but they want 7 machines serving that in offices where you have to climb over this and then go up there and walk around that one, and then you get to a kitchen. It's absolute chaos. So I told them, listen, a coin-operated system will never work, and if they want coins, then we're not willing to tender. So effectively last week we sent them some tenders that they didn't want, but it was a solution to their problem. They basically told us I think it was the first week in December or something, that we lost the deal. They will go with somebody else that can give them what they want. And we said, thank you very much. We don't want to do that. 2 or 3 weeks ago, they contacted us again and said, listen, nothing is happening for them. Nobody wanted to talk to them. Can we please reconsider helping them? So I said to them on one condition. I want Syra out of there. We wanted to have the total coffee for the entire place, and there's 3,000, I can't remember, 3,200 people or something. 2,500 of them drink instant coffee, and it's free vending through these massive old instant coffee machines in 3 different 24-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, 24 hours a day. So I flew down to PE, had a long meeting with them, sat there, and now they're going to start sharing information with us. We have not sold anything to them. We basically told them on 3 different occasions, we don't want to do business with you. And they keep on calling us, and we signed the non-disclosure document today. They're going to start sharing information with us now that we can actually take and try giving them a solution. And I'm telling you now, whoever gives them the solution for their problems, they will take that, because they have no idea what's happening there. If we went in there and gave them the brochure and sold them equipment, and it can be a combination of anything you want, with coiners, without coiners, cards, smart cards, anything, they would not have gone for it, because that's not the solution. I don't know what the solution is yet, but I'm telling you now that we will find that business and we will do that business, because we will solve the problem for them. And if we solve the problem, they will go for the deal. And it can potentially be, guess, anything between 100 and 120,000 Rand a month deal. Maybe not major margins, but on big volumes, there's good money in it. So that's what we're saying there is, don't attempt to oversell. Rather sit back and tell the guys, listen, you can't do that, you can't do that. Help them find the solution for a problem that they have. And if you have to walk away from it, walk away. If you come up with a solution, the customer will come back to you. And this is the perfect example where we basically told them to piss off, and they came back and came back and came back. And ultimately, I think we're going to do the deal with them, but on our terms. And Rindy panics, but it's fine. She's going to make some money out of it.
So here's a problem that the client often talks about, and in this case, Chris and I spoke about this as well. It's also relevant here with Aspen, but generally, I'm sure many of you have had this as well. clients think by adding a coin mechanism on a coffee machine, they will solve their problem of spending whatever X amount per month with their staff. Or they will somehow limit the usage and therefore solve a problem. So they connect the coin mechanism to solving a problem. So when anybody asks you, okay, can you fit a coin mechanism? You can ask them why. What do you want to achieve? It often happens in petrol garages as well. Oh no, because we don't want guys to walk out the door with a cup of coffee in a petrol garage, because then we lose a sale and we can't control that, and so there must be a coiner on the machine. So then I say, but are you aware of the fact that as soon as you put a coiner on a machine inside a garage, you will probably lose 50% of your sales? Then the guy says, oh, I didn't know that. How? Why do you say that? Because the guy now walks up to the coffee machine and it says 10 Rand, and he's got to put 2 5 Rand coins in. He doesn't have coins. He's lying in his pocket and he says, leave it. I'll walk out the door. I'll buy a Coke and a pie, and there I go. So you've got to be knowledgeable about these things, because, for example, a coin mechanism is often asked for, but 90% of the time it's not necessary. You know, they must just find another way of controlling the walk out of the door and lose the customer by just holding the cups behind the counter, for example, you know, and sell the cups to the client, and then he walks to the machine and gets his coffee and he buzzes off. So just be clever about these things, because the whole thing with Aspen also started with card control and coin control, and they want to control everything. And then you've got to ask the question, but why? Have you got a budget? Yes, we've got a budget. Is it okay? That's 100,000 Rand a month. I'm just using an example now, not necessarily Aspen's case. And then say, okay, let's see if we can get into that budget, because people don't drink 20 cups of coffee a day. They drink 1 or 2. And that's generally true for every office in the whole country. In fact, Phyllis and I have done an investigation where there's 1,600 people or something working at African Bank with, I don't know how many coffee machines that Phyllis controls there. I think she's got 25 coffee machines there. The average was 1.2. It was the average in larger offices is not very high. You know, lots of people drink tea, or they don't drink coffee or tea at all. They just drink water or whatever. So this perception that you've got to control coffee through a coin mechanism is actually just a bad perception of people who don't understand anything. And if you come in with confidence and explain it, you can probably help them to solve the problem without fitting coins. Okay, so that comes to that second point, actually, of know your machines. Horses for courses are important. You've got to know what's capable. You've got to know that a coffee machine inside a teacher's room in a school is probably a bad idea, you know, because there's 50 or 60 teachers who's got a 20-minute break. Any cappuccino machine, whether it's a Jura or a Kinich or whatever, or a vending machine, takes about a minute to make a cappuccino, because it's grinding the coffee, it's making the espresso, then it adds the milk. That process is 50 seconds to 60 seconds. You've got to know that. Don't sell a machine at WE8 or whatever for 60 teachers in a teacher's room. They're going to turn around and be frustrated with the thing. It's not going to work. So be knowledgeable about your machines and what you can do and what you advise to clients, and then you'll build rapport. Building rapport in sales is the first step in successful selling. All right. Christy, do you want to add something on point 2?
I want to add something there. I think most of the guys in Joburg were with Richard and Dion and all the techies, and Dewald and all my techies knows about the Mercedes-Benz fiasco that's currently happening, where they bought 8 10 machines, or renting 8 10 machines that went in there, and 3 of those machines are making, one of them are making 200 plus cups per day through an 810. The other 2 are making, I think, about 100 or just over 100 cups per day on an 810 machine. And the rest of them are doing inside those parameters. They're doing between 20 and 50 cups a day, which is fine. So the 3 machines that are doing 100 cups plus, and the 1 machine doing 200 cups per day, they're giving problems. Now, the first thing that comes out is it's a bad machine. The machine is the problem. No, the machine is not the problem. The machine is rated for 30 or 60 cups a day. The other 4 machines that are making 30 to 50 cups a day are working absolutely perfectly, no problem. Yes, there's a technical issue that we had to sort out, but the machines are working well. The machines that are needed there are not even Euro machines. The Seiko Olikas that can make 100 cups plus. These machines are not with customers. They're not in call centers. They're somewhere in the back in a kitchen area where people stream in and they make a cup of coffee. So the noise, the there's no factor that helps there. All we want to do is we want to make sure that that machine can make 100+ cups a day. So the right machine for that environment, for that specific kitchen area, is an Olika that can do more than 100 cups a day. So whenever you go out and the customer says, "Oh, I like this machine," be careful to sell him, because you can sell him 8 of these machines. If it's the wrong machine, then the machine will start giving problems, not because the machine has got something wrong with it. You can't have a machine that can make 30 or 50 cups a day, pumping out more than 100, and expect the machine to perform. It will never work. So you need to get, there's a 30-cup machine, there's a 50-cup machine, a 100-cup machine, a 200-cup machine. And that horses for courses are very important. Know your machines and advise the customer. Even if the machine can make 100 cups, it's not a good idea. Get the 100-cup machine to do the 100 cup, not the 50-cup machine. Okay.
Okay, point 3 is pretty straightforward. Know your prices and yields. You've got to really know your products and your prices very well. I mean, obviously, if you work with it all the time, then it's easy and simple. You've got to know your margins, you know, and because sometimes you've got to talk to a client that maybe wants something different or wants to do something different. You've got to know where you can go with that conversation. You've got to know what the competition does. I mean, I do not walk in and out of any shop in this country, wherever I go, whether it's in a shopping mall or whatever, and I see a coffee bag, I look at the price. Whether it's Starbucks or whether it's in the bloody Kruger Park, you know, when there's coffee on the shelf, I look at the price. I compare our stuff all the time. When I see a quote from a competitor or, you know, a DeLonghi coffee machine, I go and look at what's the specs of the DeLonghi and what's the price of it, you know, to compare it. You've got to know the stuff. When you get to a client and they've got a DeLonghi, you've got to know how you compare with DeLonghi. So make sure you know that stuff and you ask around and you look at, you know, competitor stuff all the time. The last 2 points kind of go hand in hand, and I talk specifically about that because recently I spoke to franchisees who do these things. All right. Now, I'm not saying you can never give a sample to anybody. Maybe there is a case where you do give a small sample to somebody for some reason. But generally, don't do that. Don't give a sample. Don't give a kilogram of coffee to somebody, because you've got to sell 4 more kilograms to make up the lost sale and the lost profit of the first one. All right. Think about that. You know, you've got to. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Rather say to a client, maybe you get to a client and maybe they've got their own coffee machine, you know, or something like that, and they want a sample from you to be convinced. You know, do 2 things. Don't drop off a coffee there anyway, even if you sell it. You know, put it in the machine, make the coffee, change the settings, stand there for an hour, let them taste the coffee, and do a full demo on your product. All right, that's the way to do it. Secondly, if you sell the coffee to them with confidence and say, look, we roast very great coffee. I'm going to sell this to you. If you don't like it, you know, and there's a couple of complaints in the office, I'll come back in a couple of days. I'll fetch my half a bag that's still left over, and I'll give you your money back. But that's how confident I am about my coffee. Rather do it that way, because you just build more rapport and you just build more confidence in yourself and your own product. And do not give discount. One of the franchisees said to me a couple of days ago, they bought a Kinich 810 and they sold it to a friend of theirs, you know, at cost plus 10%. So I just said, good. You know, I sold to my cousin a machine last year. I sold it to full price. My brother bought the A9 coffee machine to me at full price, because I said to him, if you have a problem, who's going to service it? I gave him a kilogram of coffee for free with the machine, but, you know, he paid full price. So just be careful. You know, we've got to be business minded, and the franchisees who are doing very well and growing very fast are not franchisees who give discounted products away. All right. So be aware of that second last point. And then the last point, you know, be very careful to leave a coffee machine with a client. Most clients ask, and I like it actually the most when a car dealership asks me, can they get the machine for a month to trial it? And I said, yes, no problem, as long as I can have that Toyota Corolla for a month to drive around to trial it as well. You know, no other business does that. A copier company doesn't do that. Cars don't do that. You know, a point of sale guys that I referred to earlier, Odyssey, they don't give you a point of sale system to try out for a month. Why do we do it? Why do we do it? Go there and do a demo, or invite them to our showroom and come and impress them in the showroom. But don't give them a machine for a month. You've got no control what happens tomorrow or Monday morning when they haven't cleaned the frother over the weekend, and then it doesn't work, and then they think it's a crap machine.
I always use it as, and I said, if you go to Avis and he said, can I demo a car for a day? and then I'll rent it. I think they should tell you to go and have a cup of coffee and get over yourself. Yeah. On that leave a product in a machine with a client, The reason I will never do that, and I advise you never, ever, 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 ever to do that as well, is it gives you the opportunity to talk to your customer. So if you want to do a demo, it's a demo. Some of you might still remember the old days with somebody knock on your door and they want to sell you a Kirby vacuum. They will not leave it there for a day. They will show you how it works because they can bullshit you, and then they take it with. Same with the coffee machine. So when you demo the coffee machine, if you have to take the coffee machine to the customer, which is something I personally now for at least the last year, I stopped doing it completely. I tell the guy, you come to my showroom where I can show you all the different machines so that I can show you what they can do, and I can illustrate you which one is that best one, that horse for the course. As I can demo it to you because then I can show you 5 different machines. I can show you the products, you can show the roaster, the technical workshop, all the other products, the care products, all of those kind of things in one place. When people come to the showroom, they go, I didn't know you do that, and I didn't know you do that, and I didn't know you do that. That's the reason why I invite them to the showrooms. We've got the showrooms now in 3 different provinces for you guys to use. Just do it. The second reason is...
we're selling retail shops, by the way.
Sorry?
And we're selling retail shops, by the way, for anyone who wants to own their own one.
Yeah. So if you demo a machine, there's something that you want from the customer. Is, yes, I like it. So I will stand next to the machine with the customer or customers around me, take a cup. I don't even offer a coffee to the customer. You just put the cup there while you're talking to them and press the button. And while the machine is grinding, and it doesn't matter what machine it is either. It can be a Euro, W8, WMF, doesn't matter what it is. While it's grinding, you just keep on talking to the customer and you tell him, by the way, you don't need a barista to do this. And you get the customer to agree to that. Then you show him, as the coffee comes out, you show him the crema and the beautiful extraction. And you get the customer or whoever is there to go, oh, yeah. And if you can, make it in a Ruma cup or a glass or something like that, where you can see the inside of the coffee. And again, show it to them and say, do you agree? Look at that. Look at that crema. It's 5 millimeters thick. Get them to agree to it. Now you wait for the milk. The milk comes. Again, how quiet it is, how efficient it is. You don't need a barista. You get the perfect temperature. While the milk is being made, that 25, 30, 35 seconds, it gives you the opportunity to discuss what the machine is making now and why it's beautiful and why it's brilliant and why you're busy doing this without selling anything. When the foam is finished, take a stick or a spoon or something, stir it and show it to them and eat it and taste it and look and again get, yes, it's quiet. Yes, it's lovely. Yes, you don't need a barista. Yes, it's beautiful crema. Yes, it's beautiful milk foam. Now you show them what else the machine can do. Show them the rooibos that you can get in there. Show them the hot chocolate that you can put in a cup, catch some water, stir it, add some milk. It gives you that opportunity to make sure that whomever is making this decision to stand around you, get that cup of coffee and they get it the way that you want them to drink it. They do not have the opportunity to go and fiddle and make a cup of coffee by accident that is either not programmed to the wrong cup size, run out of water, run out of beans, the milk is not foaming properly, it's not set up the way that it is for the button that they pushed, and the first thing they go like, yes, the guy's not even out the door and the machine is not working yet. You'd never ever get that while you are there making the coffee for them in exactly the way that they want it. And when you get all of them to drink a cup of coffee that you made to their specifications, and you go like, do you like it? Yes, 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 yes. You close the machine, pack it up, start rinsing the machine, take it under your arm and like, should I leave it for you? Can we sign the contract or do I take it away? And if you have 7 yeses from all of these people, chances are, if it's a new machine, it stays there. If not, you did a bad deal. But that gives you that opportunity to convert that 25% conversion rate to 80% conversion rate.
Okay, guys, that's kind of it. I wanted to demo our new website, but we're way over time. You know, it's almost 7 o'clock now. So I'm gonna do a short video on our ZA website. Mark and a couple other people asked me some questions recently about it. This is the site that's going to go live as soon as possible. But I'll do a little demo again, a little video, and I'll just send it out that shows you where you can get your newsletters. You've got to sign in to see the newsletters that we post at the bottom of the site. It's very easy, and I'll send a video out about that already. You know, and then there's a documents page that will come up on that menu where you can go and find documents on your intranet. Most of you that contact me has now come right, so I think that's already in place. If you struggle, phone me. You know, if you don't get to documents and you don't get to how to log in to the site or whatever, then I can help you. And then the way we're going to display equipment in future on the website will have the brochure, the user manual, the video, the rental application form. Everything will be there. It will be very easy to send that to a client and say to him, just click here, you know, and you will have everything about that coffee machine. Where in the past we had to attach these things on emails. It will be all on the website going forward. All right, now it's time for questions. You can type your question in the Zoom group chat box. Just find it at the top of your screen there and just type it, or you can unmute yourself and just ask a question. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, that's good. Then we can go and have a cold one now. Okay, everyone, I'm going to stop the meeting. Thank you for being here. I'll share this on the site as well, you know, the discussion we had plus the links to this video. All right. Cheers. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mons.
Yes.
Hoop dit geoop is.
Okay, baie julle twee.
Cheers. Hier is nog 'n chat gewees. O, ciao, cheers. Yes. Bye.
Ciao. Well, ek sien.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Captain Cook.
Okay, ek bel jou nou.
Bye.